AJ Allmendinger gets his third win in the Cup Series at a road course, and four drivers say goodbye to their championship hopes in 2023. Let's talk about NASCAR at the Charlotte Roval. Hello everybody, welcome to Dirty Air. I'm your host Alex Lambert, and let's talk about NASCAR's elimination race at the Charlotte Roval, where four NASCAR drivers say goodbye to their championship dreams in 2023. But AJ Allmendinger is able to get his third career win, all coming on a road course today for Colleague Racing, and he was very emotional after that race. We'll break everything down to the awesome finish, to the interview, and of course we'll talk about the playoffs. Let's get into it, and we have to start out by talking about what I thought was a pretty fantastic finish. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch William Byron trying to catch AJ Allmendinger. I would say William Byron's still a young, up-and-coming star trying to catch a driver that's, been around for a little while. I mean, his first win came in 2014, somewhat of a more experienced, more of a veteran driver, AJ Allmendinger, trying to go out there and win this race. It was fun watching those two battle. You had some drama. You had Kyle Busch in third, trying to go out there and get the win because he needed the win to advance to the next round. He could not make it in on points. He was looking for kind of a walk-off win situation. You even had the rookie Ty Gibbs trying to go for his first career win up there in the mix on a couple of those late race restarts. So that was fun to watch. I don't think the late race restarts were too sloppy. I heard some people saying the race was kind of sloppy in their mind. I don't think it was too bad. We didn't have really a whole lot of huge crashes, especially up front, just a few cautions at the end, which were very quick pace cautions. I also want to mention that. I noticed the cautions were very quick pace today. As William Byron trying to catch AJ Allmendinger, running everything they had, running every corner of that racetrack. And William Byron was probably a little bit faster at the end of this race, but AJ Allmendinger was able to gap him just enough at the end to where Byron really had no shot to get to him in the final corner. So an exciting finish. I thought it was a good race. AJ Allmendinger is always fun to interview, to watch after a win. He was very emotional today, hopped out the car, big celebration. So let's take a look at what AJ Allmendinger has done, right? I mean, he's won his first race back at Watkins Glen in 2014. That was huge. The 47 car for JT Doherty Racing. And then he comes over to Colleague in 2021 to race select Cup races on a part-time schedule, wins at the Indianapolis road course. Very impressive. I've talked about this many a times, how difficult it is to win in the Cup Series on a full-time schedule in a new team. For a new team, AJ Allmendinger did it on a part-time schedule for a new team at the Indy road course. Very impressive there back in 2021. And then this year, going into 2023, there were some doubts. He wasn't that fast at the road courses like we've seen him in the past. He wasn't up front contending for the win like we've seen him in the past at road courses last year and previous years. But AJ Allmendinger today was perfect, knew how to get around the Charlotte Roval. He's won there multiple times in the Xfinity Series and won there today in the Cup Series. Huge win for AJ Allmendinger, I think. Huge win for Colleague Racing. We don't know where AJ Allmendinger is going. In his post-race interview, you have to love the emotion. AJ Allmendinger said you never know when you're going to get another one, and that's true. For any driver in the garage, you could say that, and especially for AJ, because we don't know what his future holds. We don't know if he's coming back to Cup racing next year. I wouldn't be against it if he does. I would like to see him back in the Cup Series. I think he's a really good driver, an experienced driver, and a great personality for NASCAR, but we don't know if he will be in the Cup Series next year. So getting a win at the end of the season like this in October with just 4 races remaining following today, very special win for AJ Allmendinger, and glad to see him back in victory lane. Once again, and I'll say this, one of the best road course racers in NASCAR probably ever. He's been put in not top equipment and has won multiple races at road courses. Very impressive what AJ Allmendinger has been able to do in his career. I know it's just 3 Cup wins, but 3 big Cup wins, and he's been in contention and been close to getting a lot more on road courses and at other tracks in what I would say is not considered top tier equipment. Like some cars are. But anyway, let's talk about a few other things. Let's go through the entire top 10, because I talked about Allmendinger, your winner. William Byron trying to get there, trying to catch him at the end of the race, just didn't quite have enough. Kyle Busch, once again, trying to really go for a Hail Mary shot there at the end to find a way to get a win, finishes third. The rookie Ty Gibbs with another top 5. Ty Gibbs, his impressive rookie season continues, was in the playoff battle for a while. It looked like he could have made the playoffs this year, as running the top 5 many races this season. I still think this year's been a very impressive year for Ty Gibbs, the rookie. Don't be surprised to see him in victory lane next season, maybe multiple times. I think he's going to be that guy. You have Joey Logano in the 5th position. Okay, run for him. Tyler Riddick, another one of those drivers that's really good on road courses, one of your young Toyota drivers that's really good on road courses. A little bit disappointed in him today, finished 6th. Didn't really understand some strategy calls in the middle of the race that put him in a bad position where he really couldn't go up there and get the win. Chris Buescher, solid 7th place finish, gets him into the next round of the playoffs. Alex Bowman finishing 8th. Chase Elliott, that's one that's kind of frustrating too, because there was a situation where Elliott looked like he had a great chance to get the race win, and then as he's coming down pit road, the caution comes out, and then he has to pit after everybody else pitted under caution, so he loses a ton of time on that, a ton of track position. He was able to get all the way back up to 9th place. I believe he went back to 24th or 26th after that. Really eliminated Chase Elliott's entire shot to win. I don't know. I think A.J. Allmendinger had a good shot to win this race from the get-go, but Chase Elliott has really been robbed from a few Charlotte Roval races and really just a few road course races all around since the next-gen era. We talk about how Chase Elliott isn't that good on road courses in the next-gen car. Yeah, he is. He just keeps catching constantly unfortunate breaks like today. He keeps coming close. Multiple races, almost every road course race in the next-gen era we've been to, Chase Elliott's in contention, sort of like A.J. Allmendinger. So just want to mention that for Chase Elliott as well. Ross Chastain finishing in the 10th position. Not enough to get him into the next round of the playoffs. He has been eliminated from playoff contention, which is a little bit early for him, but we'll break down the playoffs a little bit more. One driver I do want to mention that had a bad day that I just want to talk about. Maybe this will cheer some fans up because he's not a fan favorite. Denny Hamlin, I think I saw him have a very rough weekend. Fortunately for him, he had 50 points going into this race, so was essentially guaranteed into the third round of the playoffs, so nothing too serious there. But he goes out there, has some problems in practice, flies over one of the turtles, I think they call it, one of the curves, gets airborne. Then he goes into the race. I saw him come into the start-finish line sideways multiple times. There was one time where Michael McDowell got in the way, and then Denny Hamlin somehow spun. There was another time where he got involved with, I believe it was Truex, got spun around. So I just wanted to mention, really bad day for Denny Hamlin. This is probably the first playoff race that Denny Hamlin's been in that I haven't seen an impressive performance out of, but that's okay because it really didn't matter too much for him today as he was able to advance before we even got to the final round. And it'll be fun to watch Denny Hamlin see what he can do going into the second to last round of the playoffs, the round to get into the Final Four. And let's go ahead and talk about that. The 4 drivers eliminated from NASCAR playoff contention today. Ross Chastain just didn't have enough speed to get up there and fight for the win at the end. Bubba Wallace, who had a decent year all year long, but just did not have the stage points going in. He didn't have, I want to say he went into the playoffs with 0 stage points going into the playoffs. That's just such a disadvantage to start with. I think it's impressive that he made it as far as he did. Good season for Bubba Wallace. Decent run today. Had speed today, but the strategy call still kind of has me confused on what they were trying to do there. For both the 2311 cars coming down pit road, waiting to the caution to come down pit road. Cost him a ton of track position, but Bubba Wallace has been eliminated from playoff contention. It'll be fun to see what he can do next year. I think he's going to be a little bit better, and it'll be fun to watch him going into next season. And if Bubba Wallace can get a win at maybe like Las Vegas, where he's been fast at in the past. Brad Keselowski made a massive mistake today. Looked like he had a great chance to at least put himself into the playoffs, at least race his way into the next round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the race, received a penalty for cutting the track. Now, the rule is cut and clear. If you cut the track, you hit the brakes and you stop. And we've seen some drivers kind of stop but doesn't fully stop, and that costs them big. And we saw Brad Keselowski continue to go. You don't have to stop in that same curve. You have to stop on the same lap. Brad Keselowski didn't do it. That results in a pass-through penalty on pit road, which is way worse than a stop and go. So just really frustrating there that Brad Keselowski sort of lack of awareness, not even by the driver, maybe by the team. Because if I'm a crew chief or a spotter and I see him miss the corner, my first instinct is stop and go. Do not make us serve a pass-through. So just would like to know what was going on as far as communication in that situation with Brad Keselowski. Definitely took away a lot of points for him today, eliminating him from playoff contention. Don't know if he would have made it in anyway, but still, just really rough. I hate those type of situations for a driver. And then, of course, Kyle Busch being eliminated. He will not win his third championship or championship for RCR this NASCAR season in 2023. Really frustrating because I'm still trying to handle the emotions as a Kyle Busch fan of your driver's season coming to an end. I'm sure some of the fans watching kind of feel that same way, whether it's your driver winning the championship or just missing the playoffs or getting eliminated in a round. You're trying to kind of digest everything that happened, and I guess I'm still trying to do the same thing. But I'll look at this for Kyle Busch, and this will probably be the last time I talk about him massively as far as playoffs go. But I still think it was a decent season. Getting the final win at Auto Club Speedway, a track that's been good to him in the second race, was very well. Making headlines, dominating St. Louis, winning at Talladega in an RCR car. An impressive season for Kyle Busch. Definitely disappointed that he didn't go farther in the playoffs. I think Some people set him as a championship favorite, especially earlier on in the summer, back in the spring as the season started. But it was the first year with a brand new organization. Everything changed for Kyle Busch. Finished third today. What can he do to finish out this season? And how good can Kyle Busch be moving forward into 2024? I'm excited to see what he can do. And it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I hope he runs better, cleans up some stuff going into next year. But definitely frustrating to see him out of the playoffs. But I would say this year was a success. Could it have been better? Yes, I think it could have been way better. A lot of mistakes were made that cost him a lot. Could it have been worse? I think it could have been way worse in an RCR car, which typically have not been performed very well over the last few years. Just look at Austin Dillon's season this year. So I think it could have been worse. I think there were some mistakes that were made on the driver and the team side that need to be cleaned up going into next year. But overall, solid year for Kyle Busch. Can't wait to watch him run for a championship in 2024. Let's pull up the final 8 drivers going into the next few races. The next 3 races, Las Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville will make up the championship 4. William Byron with a massive advantage going into this round, 20 points with those 6 wins. With those playoff points, is 20 points over the cut line. It's a big advantage for William Byron, and I think the driver, the caliper driver William Byron is, he'll be able to go out there and capitalize. Won at Las Vegas earlier this season. I think he could go out there and win at Las Vegas, run very well at Las Vegas. Same thing with Homestead, Miami, and same thing at Martinsville. I believe he won at Martinsville in 2022. So William Byron, definitely still a championship favorite, 100%. Martin Truex Jr., 15 points above. I'm concerned because I have not seen Martin Truex Jr. perform like he did all summer long. I'm a bit underwhelmed by what he's been able to do. Has not finished in the top 10 in any of the playoff races so far this season. Had a terrible first round. Almost didn't make it out of the first round with all the playoff points he had. Didn't have that great of a round this round, which I know the Roval Talladega kind of throws a curveball. Maybe Martin Truex Jr. can get up there and maybe find some speed going into these last 3 races before he goes into the championship at Phoenix, if he's able to make it. Once again, Las Vegas, Miami, and Martinsville are tracks that sort of favor his style more. He's won at Martinsville plenty of times. He had a good chance to win at Miami a year ago. And then, of course, Las Vegas, another standard mile-and-a-half track that Martin Truex Jr. is known for winning at. So we'll have to see what Truex can do in that next round. Denny Hamlin, only 11 points above. If I look at Denny Hamlin, I look at him as a driver that I think can win any of the next 3 races. I think he can win Miami, Las Vegas, or Martinsville. He's good at all of them. He was really fast at Martinsville last year. The pit crew cost him a lot. My big concern for Denny Hamlin going into this round is cleaning everything up. Don't make mistakes. Don't wreck like he did today. The pit crew is a big one. He cannot speed getting on pit road, and the pit crew cannot cost him but so much when it's this tight. It's way harder to get in the Final 4 than it is to get into round 2 or round 3. So we'll have to watch Denny Hamlin's got to clean up those mistakes if he wants to make the championship round and have a shot to go for his first championship. Kyle Larson, 3 points above. Another one of those drivers has to capitalize on everything. Can't make mistakes like he did in qualifying or practice earlier this weekend, costing him potentially plenty of points. We'll have to see what Kyle Larson can do going into the next round. The one thing that I would look at Kyle Larson is Homestead, Miami. I think that he has a great shot to win that race just by how he's one of the few drivers that knows how to run right up against that wall. He has a major advantage when he goes to Homestead, Miami, and I think Kyle Larson could win that race. Want to watch him in the middle race of this upcoming round. Chris Buescher, 3 points out. What can he do to get in? Can he go out there and get a win? Wouldn't surprise me at all if he's able to point his way in. Tyler Reddick, 8 points out. Christopher Bell, 8 points out. Remember, Christopher Bell won the last race of the third round last year and went to the Final 4 at Martinsville. And then you have Ryan Blaney. I don't see it with Ryan Blaney. Was below on points in this round, but got the win at Talladega. I really don't think Ryan Blaney's going to make it in. We'll have to see what he can do. Penske's pretty fast at Las Vegas, so we'll watch him, see what he can do going into the final round of the playoffs. So that's it. That's all there is to talk about following NASCAR at the Charlotte Roval. I thought it was a pretty exciting race. I thought it was a fun race to watch. The playoff drama really made it interesting, at least for me as a fan. But let me know what you guys think below. Let me know if you enjoyed the race, what you thought about it. Let me know if you think the Roval should return. I've heard some fans say they don't think the Roval should return. But anyway, that's really it. That's all there is to discuss. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. And of course, about Kyle Busch being eliminated from a championship contention in 2023. Let's get rowdy.